All right, hey everyone, welcome back to the channel today. I'm excited to introduce you to someone who's bringing a whole new energy to the Tampa real estate scene. Meet Bre, a charismatic and hilarious new agent of Realty One who's using comedy, creativity, and social media to shake things up and connect with clients in a real way. If you think real estate has to be stiff or boring, Bre's here to prove otherwise. So thank you for doing this today, Bre.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so let's kind of dig right into it. So, what were you doing before real estate and what made you take the leap?
I had a lot of jobs before real estate. I'm 30 now. So the last 10 years of my life, basically, I've worked in sales mainly. Like I sold cars. I worked at the DMV. I worked at a Chipotle for like 2 weeks. That was a nightmare. I was an Uber driver for a little while I was working at the DMV. And then the bulk of my career, I spent 5 years selling semiconductors. So I was doing like business to business sales, and I was cold calling every day, like 9 to 5 job in an office. Um, and then right before I had left that job, and right before real estate, I was doing videography for like bars, weddings, like stuff like that. So I have all the equipment for video. So that's kind of what helped me when I got into real estate. So I had all this stuff already done, and I knew how to edit quick. So it kind of was like um, it was what is that word? It was good to help me get started, if that makes sense.
So, was there any like specific moment? Because you're killing it on social media, real estate. I know you're fairly new, but was there a moment that made you kind of realize that real estate might be for you?
Well, I guess it wasn't even that I was uploading on Instagram for a while, and I wasn't really getting any traction. Like I would get a couple hundred views. I had like 300 followers for a long time, and I was like, "Man, is this going to work out for me?" Then one day, I was about to go to Miami for the weekend for a music festival, and I right like on that Friday before I even left my house to like pack my bags and was going to go on my trip, I was like, I'm just going to upload all my videos on YouTube because I had them all on Instagram only. And I was like, might as well. What's it going to hurt? I only get 100 views a video. So I uploaded them all to YouTube. There was like 5 or 6. And then completely forgot. I don't even check YouTube. I don't really go on it that much, especially because I was on a trip at a music festival. So I wasn't going to be watching any YouTube videos and logging into my account. I got back that Monday, and I saw like 9+ notifications on YouTube. And I was like, what the hell is this? I don't even know what this is. And I had gotten like 20,000 views on my video, and the other ones were at like 5,000, 6,000. So I was like, holy crap, I can't believe that people were watching it, and they were commenting like, you're so funny. And I was like, well, if this helped me to upload to a different platform, I'm going to now try TikTok. So then I started to upload on TikTok, and that's where it really blew up. That's when I was like, whoa, I still feel like I'm in a twilight zone, because this only happened like last month, like
Yeah,
literally a
I
month and a
people
half
are
ago.
sending me your TikTok and your Instagram reels. So like you said, your notifications, that would be like an hour for you now, right? Like how much, like 5,000 notifications, because you're getting tons of views over there.
Yeah. I try to go through them all, but sometimes it's hard, and it's like I get like it makes me so tired trying to read through and reply and read through and reply. It gets me like exhausted. I'm like, I gotta take a break. I gotta put my phone down for a minute.
Okay, so before we dig a little bit deeper into like the social media presence and kind of comedy side of it, maybe from an agent side though, what has been kind of your initial or first impressions of like the real estate industry?
It kind of reminded me of when I was in the car industry when I was selling cars. I was kind of shocked that like people look down upon realtors, and I can understand why there's such a negative like connotation with the word realtor, because there's a lot of people out there that are just trying to make money, and it shows. And there's like, who's that guy who says you got commission breath, where it's like you're just trying to make money, you don't care about the customer. So like that was my like when I first joined, this was only in August. I was like, oh, I had no idea. I thought people had a good like thought good of realtors. I didn't know that they had like a negative connotation with the word.
Has there been any like eye-opening moment or biggest lesson learned so far from as being an agent?
No, a biggest lesson learned. I don't know. I feel like because if I hadn't been in sales before this, I'd probably have a bunch of new lessons learned. But because it's pretty similar, like all sales jobs, there's like drama. No, I helped you with this lead. No, I did this, but it was already familiar to me. But I bet if I was new in the industry, it would be like, if I was new to sales and joining real estate, it would be like, whoa, this is weird. Like it's not like a normal job at all.
So, like we touched on earlier, too, you kind of have this hilarious presence online, kind of that comedy approach. But were you always kind of that funny friend growing up, or how did that
Yeah.
evolve?
Yeah, so it's all if we go way back, I've always been the comedic relief, and I've always been the funny one in the group. Um, I used to do I actually won class clown in high school, so that was my, like, senior superlative thing. Um, but I was always the funny one, and I started doing theater, musical theater, and, like, acting. I was an actress at Busch Gardens, actually, in my early 20s for the Food and Wine Festival, the very first one they ever held, fun fact. But I was always the comedic relief. Like, I don't think I have ever had a serious role when I was acting. Like, I can't even try to do a serious role. Like, I could, but it just would end up funny. It's just my nature is just to be funny and make jokes.
Yeah, so you have this natural presence about you, and I think for a lot of even social media now, you can see it. There's probably different levels of humor out there and different types of
Yeah.
humor. But has there ever been something you posted that you thought like, this might be too bold, I guess?
There was one, I won't say what it is, but there was one where I was like, "Oh, maybe I shouldn't," but then the people the reactions to it were great, so I was like, "Okay, that's fine."
Is it still out there for people to see if they're
Yeah.
searching? Okay.
Yeah, I have not deleted anything that I can think of, but, I make sure I follow all the laws and rules and all that stuff, but I don't like censorship. The only reason it could be way worse, but I don't because it's my job. Like, if this was just me trying to be a stand-up comedian, I would probably get, roasted because I make really bad jokes, but I try to tone it back because it's still I'm representing my brokerage, like, I don't wanna, you know, have a negative outcome with that situation.
So when you meet with clients, or has there been anyone that has seen you like in the public and recognized you, and how's that reaction?
Um, not not that I know of, but there was one I went to an event, like a random this event was not real estate related, it was, like, for my friend group thing. It was at a brewery, and there was one guy who was like, I thought I recognized you because he was friends with my other friend, and so he knew me kind of, he knew my name because he's in the friend group kind of, but he's like, "I didn't realize that was you, I've seen your TikToks," and I was like, "Oh, how strange." I don't know why, it's like it's so weird for me still, but yeah, nobody that I know of I've seen in person, but I've felt like when I'm out in public in Tampa, I don't know if maybe it's just me overthinking, but I'm like, "These people are looking at me weird." Like, I feel like people are staring at me longer than they usually do. Yeah.
Well, they always talk about humor kind of breaks the ice and whatnot, but do you think humor kind of breaks down that kind of salesy image, like you mentioned earlier, for the agents out there?
Yeah, I think it helps because it makes people I for whatever psychological reason, I feel like it helps people to trust you more. They can relate to your jokes, they can relate to you. I feel like people feel like they know me when they message me. They feel like I'm their friend and they message me like I'm their friend.
No, a little off topic, but when you say they message you, like even, I messaged you on Instagram after some of your
Mhm.
reels, and I was quite surprised that, you replied back because, like you said, you get all these messages and whatnot. So, like, how many do you reply to everyone on Instagram or your social
Mm.
media?
I don't. I wish I could, but obviously first there's weird messages where I'm like, I'm not replying to that. I'm not taking the bait. Sometimes I reply if it's someone who's upset and I'm like, "This will be good content. Let me screenshot this." But a lot of it is just like, "You're so funny, you're hilarious," and I wish I could sit and reply. It's just like I'm so inundated with, like, working with leads, and then there's brands that wanna work with me and all this stuff that I'm like, well, I just don't have time, but I wish I could. I do try to reply the best I can, though, especially if somebody sends me something interesting. If it's not just, oh, you're so funny, thanks for the content. If it's something very interesting or funny, I'll reply to it.
Yeah, and like I said, I was scrolling through some of them because I want to see like what kind of comments people are making on these videos. And like I said, there's some that are kind of pushback. Like I would never work with you, or it's unprofessional. And
Yeah.
is that common? You think in the comment section for you?
No, it's kind of shocking because I've been using social media and posting myself. I used to be on Twitter way back when. Like I used to make jokes on Twitter. That was like trying to be a stand-up comedian way back, but it's deleted now for good reason. But my yeah, so
Um,
the pushback, I really get mostly positive comments. I rarely get someone saying this is so unprofessional. And when I do, it's funny because the followers that love me will, like, roast the person and be like, "Turn off your phone, get off the internet. Have you tried closing the Instagram app? Like, log out." I'm like, "Oh my god, these
no,
people are
that means you've made it. That you
they're
have this.
vicious." I
Yeah,
know, but it's just funny. Yeah, and you know what? It's a lot of, I get a lot of, like, a lot of the negative ones are from realtors.
I can see that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
instead of,
believe
and
that.
I'm like, "Am I unprofessional or are you jealous? Calm
Okay,
down."
that is a great lead into the next question then. So kind of maybe what's one real estate stereotype you love to poke fun at in your video?
What is a real estate stereotype? I don't know if I've really touched on, like, a real estate stereotype in a video yet, but I have wanted to make a video of being, like, the cheesy used car salesman type of person, or I've also wanted to touch fun at people who say I'm unprofessional, and then me try to be professional and do some kinda comedy with
Mm,
that. But, yeah, I think the my favorite, like, if I had to do a video of a stereotype, it would be the cheesy, like, "Let me ask you a question. If I could do this for you right now, will you accept the offer?" Like, that kinda stuff. Like, I would probably poke fun at that.
all right.
'Cause I can't stand that. I can't when I meet people that are like that, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, you can put this persona away. It's fine. Just be yourself. Calm down."
All right. So out of all the platforms, like what platform do you think gives you the best engagement and why?
I'm gonna say Instagram because
Really?
I get TikTok. I don't know if this is my own conspiracy theory. I think they artificially inflate comments and views. I really do. But I get, there's no proof. This is allegedly. But, Instagram, I hardly ever get leads from TikTok, but I'm getting similar views. It's strange. Like, I get a couple, but on Instagram, I'm, like, inundated with leads, inundated with businesses wanting to work with me. TikTok, it's almost nobody's actually reaching out for business. It's just for entertainment. I don't know if it's because the type of people on TikTok are just there for entertainment and Instagram's more for business. I'm not too sure, but Instagram is really where I get most people asking me for help.
Yeah, I can see that definitely. Yeah. How do you balance being entertaining and still being, I guess, considered professional?
Uh, I I write a script before I film. So I reread and reread. I read it to my, friends, and I'm like, "How bad is this one?" But I make sure that because it's scripted, and then I'm also editing it. So it's like I'm balancing it that way, as in I can control, like, even if I say something way too bad in the video, I'm the editor, so I can just be like, "Oh, I'm not putting that in." So there's multiple rounds it has to go through before I'm like, "Maybe I shouldn't do that." But there's not a lot that doesn't make it through.
Okay, so you write a script, you said you edit. So maybe how long does one, I guess, reel or short take you to make, I guess, from
It could
start to
take
finish?
It depends on the longest thing in the process is writing my jokes. So, writing the jokes, sometimes I could write it in an hour, sometimes it takes me, like, over the course of 4 days. I'm like, "Oh, let me write that one down." And it happens in conversation. I'll make a joke to my friend, and then I'm like, "Wait, that's good. I gotta keep that one," and I write it down. But in total, I mean, it could be anywhere from, like, 6 hours in total from writing, filming, editing, driving to the location. Um, or sometimes that probably could be like 8 hours, maybe 10 hours, depending on how long it takes me to write the joke. The filming is fast because I'll walk in with a script. I'm in and out in like 30 to 40 minutes. Um, the editing, because I was a videographer, that's like 40 minutes, maybe less. Pretty quick for me to just chop it all together. But the joke writing is the longest part.
Ah, I see. So let's just say 6 to 10 hours maybe, and then how many like have you gotten any leads or deals directly from all this social media content?
Yes, I've gotten a lot of leads. And I have 2 homes under contract at the moment. Um, and
From and they reached out to you from
yeah.
their okay.
Mhm. I've had lenders work with me. I've had, like, um, just people wanting to list their house that I'm like, "Give me your name and number, let's have a phone call." There's a lot of them. I've gotten so many people that I'm at the point where well, at first I ask them before I give them to anybody, I'm like, "What's your time frame? Because if you're looking in 6 months, I'll get reach back out to you, but I don't wanna give it away, you know?" So but if it's someone looking right now that needs help right now, I've been having to ask my coworkers to help me for, like, a referral fee because I'm like, I don't want the client to not get, the service they deserve, you know? So I'm like, "Hey, someone else is gonna help me with this along the way." So I've gotten so many that I've needed help, and I've yet to hire an assistant, but I think I probably should at this point.
Yeah, that's great. I think you found your niche in this space. And but as far as like I've watched a lot of your content, and I mean, has there been like any comedian or creator that's kind of inspired you, or even another agent?
I wouldn't say there's a lot of inspiration with realtors. I've seen like, I'm not an original the idea of going to do a home tour and recording it, like, "home tour," quote, unquote, isn't my original idea. There's lots of realtors who do that and lots of realtors who have their own spin on it. So my inspiration, though, for, like, my comedy came from, like, stand-up comedians. I've always been, like, obsessed with different stand-up comedians. Um, but I took the idea of like, "Oh, look, these people are all just filming as like a home tour, but what if I do it and I just do like a stand-up comedy routine?" Because I've been wanting to do stand-up for a long time. I just haven't gotten around to it. So I was like, this could kind of kill two birds with one stone. So that's why like my inspiration for like the script and everything comes from like the stand-up comedians I love, but the idea of like how to film it came from many different realtors that I see on social media.
The funny thing too, and maybe I'm missing the point, but I feel like some of your content also is super honest, right? So, like you're showing a property and not necessarily pointing out a flaw in the home, but you're making maybe a joke or pointing out something in the home. Like, how do the clients feel when maybe you point out something like that?
I don't think they care because I'm not, like, ripping the house apart per se. I try to be careful. I obviously if I'm, like, showing the house and I'm trying to most of them, I'm not the listing agent, so I'm like, if I wanna find a buyer, I obviously am not gonna be like, "This house is a piece of shit, like, look at this, it's garbage." But, I also don't wanna offend the homeowner at all too, like, be like, "Oh, they painted their walls ugly poop green," like, so
Whoa,
it's
whoa!
like
How do you know one of my walls at my old home was green? I painted.
I'm sure you did, Mark. No.
I did. No, my son likes green, so I actually painted it green. So when I
It depends
rented
on
it
the
out,
green.
people would come and ask, like, "Why is these walls green?"
That's funny. So, I try to focus not so much on I don't on ripping the house apart, I instead try to roast random like, I love the show what is it? The roast I don't even remember the name of it, but I used to watch the clips of the people roasting each other. They'd be like, "The roast of Tom Brady." I don't know if you've seen that. So, I love that, that's, like, my favorite thing. So, I'm like, "This episode, I'm roasting Tesla drivers." That has nothing to do with this house, you know? I'm not talking about the fridge is too small and blah, blah, blah. I wanted to make sure because when I started writing the jokes, I was like, "Man, the only thing I could come up with is roasting this house," but I don't want to do that because I don't wanna offend someone, like the homeowner. So I'm like, "I instead will offend Tesla drivers." So I come up with something to play off of. I'm like, "Oh, a driveway? What could I think about a driveway? Car in the driveway. What kind of car?" And then come up with, like, a common subject that other people joke about, which, like, and then write the jokes from there.
Well, I think it's a breath of fresh air, where we're at in the world today. I think the humor is great. And like you said, I think just pointing out things and kind of a spin from it. So I think it's very entertaining. What's your dreams as a real estate agent, or where do you want to go from here?
My dreams. I guess my dreams recently have changed because I didn't think that this was even possible. Like, I never thought this would happen. I thought one day I'd end up with 10,000 followers, maybe in like 2 years. And I didn't expect all this. Now I have like producers and stuff and writers reaching out to me for comedy and from like LA and New York. And I'm like, what is happening? So, I mean, I guess the ultimate dream one day, if it was possible, my own stand-up Netflix special. That would be, like, amazing.
Do you think it'd still be in the real estate, like what you're doing now, like that type, or is it strictly like from a
It
stand-up?
would be it would probably be separate only because I wouldn't wanna represent my brokerage and be like, "In my stand-up special," because those jokes would be too far. But,
Hmm. I
I'd
think
have
it would
to
be
I
like
don't know.
across the country, like doing like what you're doing, but
Mhm.
you view homes all across the country. I think that would be.
Yeah, it could be also it could be in real estate, it might not be, I don't know, like, it could be who knows, some TV show could be like, "We want you to host and just make fun of these people who both work, like, at a fast food restaurant, their budget's $3,000,000, something like that." Like, I'd be, like, great at that, that'd be amazing, that'd be so fun, but who knows, like, it could take me that route, it could take me somewhere else, but I feel like my dream would be to be using comedy in some kind of, like, TV show or, like, a streaming service, like, that would be amazing. That would be like, chef's kiss, I made it.
Well, I think that's right around the corner for you.
Thank
Um,
you. Me too.
but if someone told you, they were too scared to put themselves out there online, what would you say to them?
I would say the only way to get over it is to do it. It sounds cheesy, but, like, the way like, for example, I was always afraid when I first started doing theater. The only way to get over the stage fright or get used to it is to start doing improv. Improv with your friends, practice first. Try doing something like film yourself, don't upload it. Film yourself and watch yourself. That cuz I got when I first started making videos, I was like 12 and I would make like movies with my brother. We'd reenact the Saw movie. He was like 7. It was horrible. We had like a plastic saw, but so I would like film myself and then I'd hear my own voice, and at first I was like, "Oh my gosh, I hate my voice." Everyone has that. But I am now I don't even hear my own voice. I don't care. It's like if you just I would say record yourself, listen to yourself and get over it. Like numb yourself to you if that makes sense. Like don't you'll eventually stop thinking about that if you just keep doing it. And not even you don't even have to upload it. Just film yourself and watch it back.
What's your take on like editing? Because I know some people, maybe just like I'm more just record it, put it out there, and you kind of find your path. Whereas others really want to have it structured and then do a lot of
Mhm.
editing work on it. I don't know. Do you think editing kind of holds people back sometimes, like before they put something out?
Probably. A lot of people are perfectionists, but it's also a lot of people think that cool effects will make up for a lack of personality, and it's not going to. Like, I see a lot of there's some cool videos where you see, like, a drone shot of a house and the house is, like, exploding or something, I don't know, but at the end of the day, I feel like the effects are not better than the just you being yourself and whatever your niche is, like, whether you play music, you do this, that, like, I feel like editing is actually pretty easy. If you just get some kind of software, it's so easy to clip the videos together if you make multiple videos. You could do it yourself. You don't have to pay someone from Fiverr, like, honestly, unless, like, you want those crazy effects, but you really don't need them if you have, like, the personality to do it. You just have to work on that aspect of it. Like, I don't know, I get annoyed by, like, all the big fonts and the big, like, crazy, like, "Look, I made this thing appear and there's fire." I'm like, "That's cool for, like, an Avengers movie, but you're a fucking real" sorry, I don't know if I
No.
can curse. I'm like, "You're a realtor, you don't have to, like" well, I'm like, "Why is this video of this house exploding? Like, why would you wanna see the home explode?" I just don't understand.
Okay, so now so real estate, comedy. What do you think is harder?
Wait, real estate or comedy?
Yeah. Like
Ah,
being an agent, or I guess, trying to
well
be a comedian.
probably being an agent because the comedy comes easy to me. It's what I've always done. It's like my second nature. It's like I just do it without even meaning to. And it's So when it comes to real estate, I'm like, there's so many laws and like you could be sued and all that's like that is what's hard to me. Like that scares me. I'm like terrified. So I definitely think real estate is harder. But if you're somebody who's like your brain is not comedic and you're a logic person, real estate's probably easier for you because you remember all the laws and the rules and all that stuff.
All right. So if you had to describe your brand in 3 words, what would they be?
Oh my god, I don't know. Um oh man, I have to think. It'd probably be some kind of joke.
Yeah,
Like probably like sarcastic and I just I don't know. Or unless I don't care. That would be it. Sarcastic and whatever other synonyms go with
honest.
that.
Honest. I would say honest.
Yeah.
Or yeah. But yeah, I love what you're doing out there. Like I said, everybody's been sending me your reels and clips, and they're very entertaining. And I love reading the comment section also, like you said. I mean,
Mhm.
it's interesting to go through that. But
Yeah.
kind of what's the next or any big content ideas coming up for you soon? Like, are you gonna do that baby podcast? Are you gonna take this and put it through like the baby podcast format?
I don't know what I'm doing. I have no I'm working out a few things that I don't really wanna give the details to, but I there might be something, I just don't know what it exactly is yet, but there's so many different paths I could choose, I just now I'm like, I never knew this was possible, so I'm like, I never thought to think about this before and be now I'm like, "Oh crap, there's this could happen." I don't know. But there could be something bigger, I just don't know when or what it is exactly.
All right. So if someone needed to find you, whether to set up a sale of their home or they're interested in buying a home in Tampa, or even to put out like, their products or be a rep for their product, how do they find you on social media? Where can they find you?
You can find me the easiest way, I always put in my bio DM to work with me. So the best way is to DM me on Instagram or TikTok, or I have a link to my beacons.ai, whatever that thing is, like a lead capture. In my beacons, you can set up an appointment in Calendly with me. Although I don't know if that's working out very well for me either because I have I have like people making appointments and it's not for a home sale. They're like, I would love to be friends. I'm like, what? I can't. That's the notes. I would love to be friends. I'm like, I hope this is about a home because I can't just call you to chat. I'm sorry. I wish I could, but yeah, so that's the best way to reach me. But it might change in the future depending on how many more like spam things come at me. I even have that reminds me, I have fake accounts too out there, like people scamming people. So just be careful if anyone's watching
That
this.
that means you've made it. So
Yeah, I'm
I'll put all
official.
I'll put all those links in the description. This was a fun one, and like I said, hopefully, we can get you on some of the live streams. I
Mhm.
think you'll be very entertaining on there, and I think a lot of people do have questions on the social media and content side, and just how to get over that fear, right? I think that's the
Yeah,
hardest thing is putting out that first video and worrying what people are going to think about it. But you're
yeah.
doing amazing things out there, so.
Thank you. Oh, and
Um,
my last thing I'll say about the fear is that I am scared, but I just do it scared.
no,
I always say.
very.
No, I do it scared. I'm afraid. I people watching me while
Even
I'm
now,
filming.
even to this day,
Yeah, I still get scared. Yeah, you'll never not be scared. You just gotta do it while you're scared. That's what I
are
say. It's the truth.
are you scared, like, what people are gonna think you're saying? I mean, or just
No, it's not about that. It's, I don't care once I upload it. It's literally like I'll be the camera's on me and I'm in someone's front yard and the
mm,
neighbor's outside sitting in his lawn chair and he's like, "What the hell is she doing?" And I'm like, "Hello." Or like there's golfers driving by and they're like, "What is going on?" And I still get like a little stage fright where I'm like, "These people wondering what I'm doing." And I'm out here acting like Donald Trump and I'm like,
I saw that one, I was very impressed with that.
Thank you.
I sent that to my friends, and I said, "Look at this one." They
Yeah, I've been practicing that impression for a while.
Yeah, it was great. Well, so if anyone hasn't seen that one, go check it out, go reach out to her, and hopefully she'll be back on soon. But thanks for doing this, Bree.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
All right, thanks, bye.